right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Monday morning podcast, and I'm just checking in on you. I'm just checking in on your week here, and usually, what do? I usually sit here in my fucking pajamas. I fucking, give you a little half hour of fucking bullshit to try. But it's payday, right? You don't need a full show. You're probably half in the bag at a fucking El Torito at this point. If you're listening to it, you shouldn't be driving. But every once in a while, I do have a guest. And today, we have the great Joe Rogan.
Hey!
Fucking Grand National Champion of Taekwondo, sitcom star, fucking reality show commentator, right across the board, elk hunter, wild boar hunter. Fucking, I don't know what fucking conspiracy theory, fucking whatever you want. This guy is his own fucking entity, and he has a brand new killer special on Netflix entitled Triggered. Please welcome Joe Rogan.
Thanks, Bill Burr.
What's going on? Long time coming, dude.
I know.
Long time coming.
I love your show.
I have
and you've been on mine a bunch of times, so it's cool to be on yours.
But you're a big interview guy. I'm like a fucking lunatic who just sits in the corner of his house. And every once in a while, my wife walks by. And
I love the style that you do because it's very unique, I've done a couple like that where I answer questions and stuff like that, but it's a very unique style of, I think it lends itself really well to stand-up and to developing bits, too.
I just didn't want to deal with having to, book. You're fine. You're simple. You're okay. Come down to my studio. Perfect. You know what I mean? But, I just didn't want to. I saw what other people were going through. I got an audition. Can we make it 4 o'clock? And I was just like, I don't want to fucking deal with that stuff. But when if everyone could be a guest like yourself, can I start with the elk thing?
Yeah.
Because I am fascinated with hunting. I think it's badass. I think everybody should know how to do it. And I'm not I am an animal lover, but I'm not going to be that hypocritical one that fucking eats chickens that had their fucking beaks clipped off and they got the roided out Mark McGuire breastplate and they're tipping over in the coops, all that shit that you see. And then I'm going to be like, oh, how could you shoot a fucking pheasant or whatever the hell you're shooting out there? But I retweeted a picture of, you got this, what is it? You said it was a 12-pointer, or how do you say, 6 and 6?
It's a 6x6, they call it. A
Straight
6x6 elk.
It's a 6x6. All right, so that means
it's a big elk. I've shot 3 elk. That's the biggest one by far. That one was monstrous. It was huge. So
what is the? This is the thing that always fascinates me about hunting shows, is the nervousness and the whispering before you take the shot. They're always like, "Okay, there it is. Just relax. Okay, exhale and just if you miss, is the fucking thing going to come running at you? That's what it seems like, because it doesn't have.
You're trying not to spook it because you have to have it close enough for you to shoot it. Depending upon how you're shooting it. If you're shooting it with a bow and arrow, you got to be real close. You got to be inside of 60 yards most of the time.
Bow and arrow's badass.
I shot one with a bow and arrow. That one out there, the big one, I shot with a rifle.
Dude, a bow and arrow. Yeah. That's to me, that's the shit. I saw Ted Nugent. He shot a fucking bear. Which I could never do. I fucking love bears. There's certain animals, but you know what I mean?
Bears are interesting. I've shot bears.
You shot a bear?
I eat bears. I'll get you some bear sausage.
I can't eat a bear.
I've shot 3 bears with a bow and arrow.
I can't eat a bear.
They're good. And
dude,
if you
I bet
knew
you're
about
delicious.
Bears,
I bet you're delicious. You're like a fucking sirloin.
Well, we look at bears.
A filet mignon. You got no fat on you.
Tender and juicy.
That's what I've always felt that about you, Joe.
Thank you. We think of bears, I think, very incorrectly because what the word anthropomorphization means when you put human characteristics in animals like Yogi Bear and shit like that.
Or you make them ride a bicycle at the circus.
We have this idea that bears are these cute things, but where my friend lives in Alberta where I hunt, they literally have to shoot them because they don't have any predators. So if bears don't have any predators, and they just breed and they keep breeding, and then they decimate the moose population, the elk population, and they cannibalize each other. That's the thing that most people...
So they kind of handle it in-house.
Sort of, but they eat babies. That's what they do most of the time.
What do you mean eat babies?
They eat their own babies.
The guy has sliders. Little black bear sliders. Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, it's brutal to see. We've stumbled across paws and stuff from cubs with the male boars. That's what the ones.
Let me ask you this: go after. When you just find a baby bear paw in the woods, a part of your soul has to just fucking. It's got to die or cry out. That's something I never want to see.
It's very strange. I do have to admit, though, that bear hunting's not... I don't like it as much as hunting other animals. If I had to choose, like what animals to hunt. And you can eat bear, by the way, and that's the only things that I hunt is what I eat. Black bear. You can eat grizzly bear, but they don't taste good. And most of the reason for that because grizzly bears mostly eat meat. They eat a few berries. If you can find a grizzly bear that was just eating berries, it would probably taste delicious. They literally taste like what they eat. Like hunters try to go after bears that eat berries, like black bears in particular. In the fall, they'll eat blueberries. They call them blueberry bears because, like, as you're opening them up, their fat is like a purple color. And it tastes like blueberries. And apparently it's the most delicious meat in the world.
So without them realizing they're already marinating themselves.
Exactly.
For you guys
they're
that are going to show
themselves.
up. Wow.
They're seasoning themselves. But my all-time favorite animals are elk. That's the best. They taste the best for you. And
you gave me that elk meat, whatever the last time I was on here, and I made a chili out of it, and then the fucking elk burgers, it's a little dry. Somebody gave me a hint to put a little bit of butter in there to kind of, make it, you needed something like an egg or something to make it stick together a little bit.
Yeah, well, you don't want to cook it too much because it's super lean. There's no fat in it.
No, I put a piece of Swiss cheese and some prosciutto on top.
Nice.
It's fucking insane.
And you feel good when you eat it, too. It's a powerful food. There's a lot of energy in those. There's so much nutrients in elk. It's like way more protein dense, way more nutrient dense.
Plus, they're kind of like, because they're wild. I know, like, the human, like, footprint, as they said, acid rain and all the fucking horse shit we do. But at least it's I would like to think it's kind of away from the GMOs and all that.
It's a
type
way
of stuff.
as you can get.
So, and who knows what GMOs do to you? But like the fresh shit tastes better, though. It does taste better.
It does taste better. I mean, GMOs, everything's that's a weird word. Like if you talk to real scientists about GMOs, most of the time when you talk about GMOs, you're talking to hippies. And like, yeah, man, you got to stay away from GMOs. Genetically modified. It's giving us cancer. It's terrible for the water. But real GMOs is almost everything we eat. Every tomato you eat is genetically modified.
Right.
They've all been altered. Corn,
we're kind of like guinea pigs to see like what's going to happen.
Sort of, but most of it is just splicing. Like I just found this out recently. When you buy pistachios, there's a place up in Northern California where they grow
pistachios or stachios.
Either way, pistachios. Pretend who you're talking to.
You sounded very regal when you did that.
Thank you.
Pistachios. When Joe Rogan eats a pistachio,
I like it with tea. Shelled, of course. I don't shell them myself. I buy shelled pistachios, and I feel like I'm cheating because I just take big handfuls of them and shove them in my fat face.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah,
there's a reason why there's a shell on them, because if you don't, you can eat 1,000 of them.
Yeah, I buy them in these big, 2-pound boxes, and I just pour them in my hands, and I eat them. They're good. Good for you, too. It's kind of guilt-free, but you feel like you're cheating. Like you don't have to crack them.
I know. I steered you off course there.
So what they were doing when they grow these pistachios, the pistachio trees, the pistachio bushes are not a big, strong tree. So they graft the limbs of the pistachio tree onto like an avocado tree, a thicker, stronger tree. And they grow pistachios on an avocado tree. Like what the fuck?
But Joe, aren't we playing God at that point?
We are. Well, we're playing God by driving cars, too. We're playing God by flying planes.
That shit is, first of all, I thought pistachios came from the ground. I thought peanuts were in the ground.
Peanuts. I think peanuts are in the ground.
Is a pistachio not a nut?
No. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer. How did he do it? Should ask him.
I think it was in the ground.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know. That's why I want to hunt.
Carrots are in the ground.
Yes, they are. Worms are in the ground.
Do you grow any vegetables?
This is us trying to recover that we don't know any shit. Worms are in the ground.
Birds are in the sky.
Dirt. Yeah. Do I know? I mean, the guy who cuts the grass fucking put him on. So I got tomatoes, I got lemons and limes. But all that did was just make me fucking like booze more. Because totally got into tequila. It's like there's only so much guacamole you can eat. You're just like, what the fuck else can I do with this shit? So I kind of got into tequila. It's less of a hangover. And dude, I'm telling you, you get one of those big square ice cubes. A really nice tequila, just like a Patron Silver. You put that in there, and then you go pick a fucking lime off. I'm telling you, it's why I live out here. It's not the showbiz. It's the booze.
Well, you don't really have to live out here anymore, right? And especially like your podcast, the way you do your podcast, you just rant. Like you could do that fucking thing, and you do it anyway, right?
But I also, my wife's in the business too, so she does acting. She's doing a voiceover today, and so she doesn't have that luxury. And then also, she would go crazy if I just moved to like the middle of fucking, I'm not saying I lived in the middle of fucking nowhere, but I do, when I go on the road, I always have that urge, like when I go to a place and I just start thinking, like, hey, man, these guys riding around motorcycles, no helmets on.
Yeah.
And it's just like this. Look at that lake. They got water here. They got that. It's very lush land. Like living out here is it's terrifying. It's terrifying. Like what happened to the water in Silver Lake? Where did they take that? They closed.
Was Silver Lake an actual lake at one point?
Yeah,
really?
I mean, it was man-made, but the water's all gone. Now they're going to develop it. They said they put it underground. They didn't really say where. It's just gone. Yeah, dude, when I fly, that's like, it's one of the things I fucking would look down. You go over Dodger Stadium, and then you start coming, then you see Silver Lake, and then I'm looking down like, where'd that parking lot with the big tarp come from? And the guy was like, oh, that was Silver Lake. They drained the water. They said they put it underground. It's all like vague. Dude, do you know when I was in Nashville this past weekend, and I was sitting there watching the news during the day, and they just go like, and folks, if you're in the downtown area and you see the police doing something that seems a little disturbing, don't worry, it's just an exercise. Ooh. And then they continued on, and it was just like, you didn't do any follow-up, like, or there's no more information. An exercise, what are they practicing for? Whatever they're doing is like scary. Now, I'm not saying they're going to come at us. Is it some sort of anti-terrorism thing? I have no fucking idea what it was, but like just the kind of vagueness that they... Dude, right before the Dodgers scored the other day, NPR, my wife listens to that shit, and I,
NPR, please
NPR.
donate.
Morning becomes eclectic.
If you enjoy this show, Fresh Air with Terry Gross.
Yeah, there's always those pauses. Now, Joe, when you first started doing stand-up...
You know what I think of? I've discussed this before, but it's kind of important. You know what I think of when I think of those people? Do you know who that guy John Gomeshi is?
I like NPR, but it's just so easily to be made fun of.
It's easy to drive off the road into a fucking tree when you're listening to it, too. You're just...
Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of...
droning on. But
yeah,
that style
energy.
of talk, which nobody does, that really super sensitive left-wing style of talk, the guy that was...
you do that really well.
The main guy that did that was this guy, Jean Gomeshi, who was on CBC in Canada. Mm-hmm. And it turned out he liked to beat the fuck out of girls when he was having sex with them. He would punch them in the face and club them in the head, and it was crazy shit. And one girl came out... Yeah, and he would do it without asking them. It was like,
That's a strong move.
It's crazy.
That's a strong move in the rack.
Well, I mean, who knows who's telling the
ask?
truth? Because he was kind of acquitted of a lot of it. It's because it was very difficult to find.
But does he have the money to get acquitted? You know.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. But he was fired, and there was a gang of girls that came out and said he used to beat them up.
Oh wait!
Remember that?
The guy who does the interviews.
Yes, he talks like this. Bill Burr. So tell me, Bill, how did you get into
bugged me one time when I'm not saying all those. I don't know what the fuck he does in his personal life, but Russell Peters was on there. And he just goes like, he's like, Russell, you have 9 cars. And Russell's like, yeah. And he goes, why? And it just fucking like making him feel bad because he's doing well. He's, and then Russell had to fucking basically justify it and come up with money. And now I can have it. And I'm sorry. I fucking made it.
Wow.
And I like cars.
Wow.
Yeah, so
he's a twat.
No, I'm not saying he's a twat. That's just saying just right there.
Well, even if
there, that bugged me. I hate when people fucking do stuff like that.
He had to hit somebody. If you get like 8 or 9 chicks that are saying you beat the fuck out of them while you're having sex with them, even if you get off, somebody got cracked.
What is your number? That innocent until guilty, or how many accusations?
Bill Cosby, I gave in around 30.
30?
I heard the first couple, but we had heard that, right?
I tapped out around 7.
Yeah.
No, I there was rumors of his infidelity, but yes. I never heard of...
The drugging? You never heard that?
No.
I did. I heard that. I had heard that. It was like a rumor. It was a rumor that he would drug women. It was a rumor a long time ago. There was a court case that is part of this case from, I believe it was like 2005, and that was one of the reasons why they weren't allowed to admit that evidence, because the judge had made a decision that if he paid this woman off, then it couldn't be admissible in a future trial. But it was all verbal. They didn't get anything on paper. So once they found out they didn't get this on paper, they're like, well, we're going to admit this. And then the woman came out, and then he sued the woman that he gave the money to for drugging her. And the whole thing is very, very sordid. But with Bill Cosby, I think it's up to like 50 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder, out of those 50, there's probably like 12 that are just crazy. Like, he drugged me too.
Yeah. But the fact... But the fact that he'd still be over 30 is just nuts.
I think
it was one when all that shit came out about Trump, right? He did this, he did that, blah blah blah. It was all pretty pedestrian, sort of like, oh, he grabbed my boob and then took me in the back, just really generic. Sort of like it's become sort of the cliched story. And then this one woman, so I'm sitting there going like, all right, the Clintons are fucking filthy. Who knows if they paid these people? Who knows what the fuck's going on? It's right before just when this is coming out. And so I was going, all right, we'll see. And then this woman came on and she goes, so he made advancements at me. And she goes, I just pushed him away and said, get real, which is the perfect thing to say because you're in your 20s. He's like fucking 106. It's like, yeah, Are you serious? So she goes, I said, get real. And then she said, he thrusted his genitals towards me and said, get real.
Yeah.
And she said that, and the way she imitated him, I was in the car with my wife. I said, he fucking did that one. He did that one. There's no fucking way. That is just too specific. Like, I got the creeps of, like, get real. So
I wonder what the logistics are, or the legality is, rather, of the audio tape. Like, if you don't know you're being recorded, like, you know you're being recorded for a show, you're wearing a microphone, but you don't know you're being recorded while you're on a bus. And you're talking about grabbing him by the pussy and all that.
He was talking, to me.
Talking trash.
He's talking shit.
Yeah, like Joey Diaz would say something like that, and I would be fucking crying, laughing. And he would be egging it up. He would ramp it up. He would make it way exaggerated because he knows it's funny.
He's going for the laugh. Yeah.
If you're sitting next to Trump and he's like, I just grabbed him by the pussy, you'd be fucking crying, laughing.
That's why Billy Bush, I defended him on my podcast. Like I'm not saying the guy's a great guy, but to fire a fucking guy because of a fucking 20-second clip from 11 years ago.
What's he supposed to do?
He's interviewing the guy, and what you're supposed to do is keep the interviewer happy.
Yes.
The interviewee happy. So if he's like, hey, grab him by the pussy. Hey, grab him by the pussy. Yeah.
But he's not even saying anything bad. Billy Bush didn't say anything bad. He just didn't admonish him.
This guy at work said, well, when he said to the woman, go over and give him a hug, he became part of the sexual assault. And I was just like, what sex? There was no sexual assault. What they were saying, if he actually did it, was... But the whole thing was just like this. Just I understand women getting flipping out about it. As far as obviously, just the whole, it would be them. But what they don't know is the way guys talk when they're not there.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, dude, the fucking shit that we've said,
and we say it for fun.
Yeah.
We don't say it because we really want to go grab someone by the pussy and pick them up like a bowling ball. Yeah, we say it because it's funny.
It's funny, and you're talking.
And it's completely ridiculous and inappropriate.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Joey Diaz is a perfect example.
I will say, if you do have $1 billion, what I'm learning through Cosby and all these fucking guys is evidently you can do that. And he did say that. He's going like, you get famous enough, you can just walk up and grab him by the pussy. And that was just so absurd to me. I'm like, you can do that? You can't do that.
Well, he's got so much money. You got to think when you get to that billion. I don't think that guy
could get you $6,000 in cash if he gave him 5 weeks.
But I don't think that's correct. I think he's leveraged out quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure you go to the ATM and get $6,000. But I know you're exaggerating too.
$6,000's a funny number.
It's a funny number. It is funny, right?
I'm just saying, right, dude. There's like liquid rich,
right,
and your assets are paid off, and then there's I got this, and I'm gonna take a loan against this, and then I'm gonna do that, and get some investors here, and then I'm gonna stick my fucking name on it to build my brand. There's that way where you're sort of like steroiding up your value, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, but what? How much can you get me right fucking now? Like, I don't get that whole, like, well, all my shit's tied up.
Right.
And I got other guys, I'm working with.
Let me see the zeros. What's in your bank account? Show me your phone. Yeah.
Yes. That helicopter with your name on the back. Is that paid off? Is that a sticker? Is that a sticker that they take off and then they put fucking Mark Cuban on the back?
But if you're a woman showing up at his house and you're supposed to have a business lunch, you don't know that. You show up, he's got this sprawling estate that looks like a castle. He's got these enormous grounds. He's probably got 50 people working just at his house. There's people greeting you. They're taking you into these rooms. He comes out in a $10,000 suit. He's got diamonds and Rolexes and everything's beautiful. And you're like, holy shit, it's Donald Trump.
His toupee's like $80,000.
What is he doing with his fucking hair? Why doesn't he go the way you and I did? You and I recognized it was over.
Because I don't think it was acceptable back then.
But it's acceptable
Jordan had to make it acceptable. Jordan made it acceptable.
But he made it acceptable for black guys. For white guys,
but he transcended. No, Curly Neal of the Globetrotters made it acceptable for black guys.
That's
and then Jordan was just, everyone wanted to be like Mike. And then I remember when he was at the height, there was black guys young with the full head of fucking hair would shave their head just to look like him. It was fucking insane.
They still do that. Well, what about Yul Brynner? Yul Brynner was the first white guy to rock it and be a movie star.
Oh, yeah.
The King and I, Westworld, the original Westworld, not the HBO series.
Do you know I tried to buy the rights to that like fucking 10 years ago?
You did?
Yeah.
Westworld?
Yeah. I don't know what I was going to, but I was just like, this is a movie that someone's going to want to redo because they were redoing all these movies from my childhood. And I was just like, I fucking love that movie. That thing really loans itself because we're not at the point where you can do any of this shit. So it's still in the future. You could totally, but they wanted like $1 zillion for it. I didn't realize it was a Michael Crichton book and all that. They wanted like millions and millions. And I was just like, all right, I don't know. I thought I'd get it for like fucking $30,000, like a Prius.
Have you watched the show?
Well, this is the thing. Then the second I sat down and I watched the show, I just watched the opening credits and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God I didn't have the rights to that because there's no fucking way I could have pulled that off. Like all the things like the horse running and those tendons connecting. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I'm totally in and I've already bugged my agent to be like, dude, I will fucking... The same way when I saw Breaking Bad. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, dude, I will carry a tray of meth in the background, whatever you can fucking do. So I bugged him going like... I'm actually bullshitting. That's on my agenda today. I'm gonna when I get out of this, when I'm done here, and I walk home with my elk meat. Hopefully,
I got pounds for you.
I'm gonna bug him about trying to get on that thing. And there's a couple of actors in there that I've worked with that I'm just psyched that they're on. You know, you see friends of yours that are actually in there and they're on something that fucking cool.
My friend Tate was on last week's episode.
Yeah,
Westworld. He's on everything though. Tate's been in, I don't know, 100 movies probably, easily 100 movies.
I've always wondered if you know when you're doing something great because it's so hard when you're shooting it and how they just, all right, now his point of view, we'll do the master, back, and do all that type of stuff. And you just find yourself walking around. Was it good? Did it, because the camera crew's not saying anything. Everybody's fucking quiet. And it's, it really comes down though to the editors and the music and all that. They can either take it to the next level or they can make something good look great and they can take something great look fucking horrific.
Well, some things start off great and then they don't know how to end it and they fuck it up. But there's something weird about having a friend in a movie where you're going, this movie's great. Oh, there's Tate. Like it takes you out of it. It's like, oh, that's my friend. Like this movie's bullshit.
Yeah, people always say it doesn't take me it doesn't take me out of it unless I see them like watching themselves. Like I can't believe I'm in this scene with this guy. Then it like pulls me out. But like I buy in when I'm one of those guys. Like I don't like going to horror movies. Like they freak me out. I buy in. I don't give a fuck what the concept is. Like that fucking thing where the lady was like flipping the light switch off and then turning it on. And then flipped it off and saw the thing again and then turned it on and then flipped it off. It was right there. I was literally at home. I'm like, stop fucking turning the lights on.
What movie is that?
Get out of there.
What movie is that?
I don't know. Like the movie was coming out and it was like the thing where she's like, when you look into a room and you shut the lights off, she shuts the lights off and all of a sudden there's this fucking thing there. Sort of a girl, sort of fucking beastly. And it's across the room so you can't quite see it. So she's like, what the fuck is that? Turns the lights on. It's gone. Shuts it off. It's there again. Same spot. Turns the lights back on. It's not there. Shuts it off the 3rd time, and it's right in her fucking grill. Yeah, scared the fuck out of me. Blair Witch. Blair Witch when they were going, the movie didn't scare me. Ralphie May going, that didn't fucking scare me.
Fuck him. That movie scared the shit out of me.
I saw that movie by myself. I'd done a spot at the Laugh Factory. I went down to Mann's Chinese Theater, the one, the Hollywood Galaxy. I don't even know if that's still there anymore. Right next door. And I saw like the midnight showing by myself, dude. Freaked the
Was there other people in the theater?
Yeah, but nobody I knew, and it was like really sort of like there wasn't a lot of people there. And then that walk through the parking garage. Oh, dude, I was freaked.
I saw that movie in Houston, Texas. Chris McGuire and I did a show. We did a show at the old Laugh Stop. You ever do the old Laugh Stop in River Oaks?
Did I do that one?
Great club.
I think whatever the classic one was that Hicks and all those guys, it had just moved to the new spot.
The new spot sucked. The new spot was not good. But the old spot was amazing. And that's where I did my first album. That was I'm Gonna Be Dead Someday. I did in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
We did a show, and then McGuire and I met these kids that worked across the street at the movie theater. And they go, hey, we have the keys to the movie theater. Do you guys want to go watch the Blair Witch, just us? And we were like, holy shit, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we left. We had a 10 o'clock o'clock show. It's like midnight. We go across the street. They fucking cook up the popcorn, the whole deal. Gave us free
That's
soda, locked the door. You couldn't even do that today.
No.
You know, it was amazing. I mean, today everything's digital. You know, the kid spools up the reel and everything like that. And we sat down in the theater. It was like 3 of them and 2 of us. And we watched the Blair Witch and shit our pants. It was awesome.
Oh my God, Josh! The fucking screaming. I still remember that movie.
The kid staring in the corner. Like, oh.
Oh yeah, when they just sort of like went past it. Yeah, all of that shit where rather than just showing you sawing somebody's head off, just the idea.
Yeah.
When you think of like Tarantino talked about that, where in Reservoir Dogs he had one scene where they showed the guy hacking the ear off versus just panning away and hearing the guy screaming. It's just like it was way more fucking disturbing. That ruined that song for me for a long time. I always hear
what song was that?
Marvin Nash screaming. Now here's Stephen Wright's voice. Well, I don't know if I'm wrong, if I'm right. And he's in. Oh,
yeah, that's something too.
Stop! Remember that when he's fucking? He threw. Yeah, right.
Adding a fun song to a horrific scene.
Oh, that was so.
That.
The powerlessness of just fucking. I can't deal with.
That's like Scarface. Remember Scarface when they cut the guy up with a chainsaw? He's tied up in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And they force Tony Montana to watch. He's getting splattered with blood as they hack his friend up.
Yeah, no, that's my mother took us to see that. She didn't know what it was. Took all of us to see it, and my youngest brother was like 9, I think. And if my mother said after this chainsaw scene we have to get out of here, I would have been like fine, because I remember watching that going, oh, that was really. I asked my mother years later. She was just like, well, yeah, I thought at that point, yes, that it might have been a little mature. That's what she says, mature for your youngest brother. But I was laughing. I was going, yeah, but you always took us to cool movies. She goes, yeah. She goes, that was a good movie. She goes, I'm going to take you to those stupid things. Like she was against like the whole she took us to For Love of Benji and Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, and then my parents were just like, we're not fucking sitting through this shit. We're going to go to a movie that we're going to enjoy too. And then I went from that to like Stripes and like Scarface.
Your parents just said fuck kid movies.
Yeah, just said fuck it. Like if we're going to go out, we're going to go.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we're going to see something. But listen,
Jamie, I'm sweating like a pig. Can you turn the AC on here?
Let's get to what I wanted to promote here. You got your stand-up special Triggered coming out. So first of all, it's out. All right, and
Friday.
When is it? When is it airing? I'm saying where did you shoot it?
I shot it.
This is where I'm bad as an interviewer.
I'm bad too.
Because I'm trying to think of what I'm supposed to ask you. Where did you shoot it?
San Francisco, the Fillmore. I wanted to do it. Yeah, I wanted to do it at a comedy club. And there was like a debate between Netflix and me. Netflix wanted to do it at a huge place. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do it at a tiny place. Because I did my last one at the Comedy Works in Denver, which is only like a couple hundred people. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I think there's something about when you're sitting in a living room and you're sitting on the couch, you're watching a comedy special, it lends itself better to being in a club when you're filming it. It feels more intimate. You know, You see like you're on top of the crowd. It's more like what it would be, like the environment that it would be. So we made a compromise. We did the Fillmore Theater, which is a fucking really cool theater. Mm-hmm. And it's only 450 seats. It's pretty small. It's got a high ceiling, and it's kind of a big stage and everything like that, but it's a fairly small place. But
that's cool.
But next one I'm going to do in a small place, I think. I think I might do it at the store next time.
You know what's funny is when I went to go do mine at the Tabernacle, you had already been there and did one. So I was like, how am I going to make this different? And I did the Fillmore in 2009. Let It Go I did there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So
great place.
So I think we're
nice. We're going back.
Yeah, we're going back and forth.
Where are you doing your new one?
Yeah. I did it last Friday.
Oh, you did it?
Yep, I did it at the Ryman in Nashville.
Dude, I was just there. I fucking love that place.
That place is crazy.
Where they used to do the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, Cedric the Entertainer just did one there. So I watched like the opening to his just to see, because I was just like, because then you got to kind of disguise it so it doesn't look like, oh my God, he's at the exact same fucking place. You know, Cedric's, that guy's huge. So I had to make sure it's like, all right, well, we got to try to, he came in with like a whole marching band and all that, which is the exact opposite to my style. So I was like, okay, cool.
Cat Williams brought a lion. He brought a lion on stage.
That's awesome. I love that guy. That guy's fucking hilarious,
I love him
man.
Too.
He's fucking hilarious.
He's one of the funniest guys alive. And and
just having the balls to go on stage with a fucking lion is hilarious. How do you come? I wish I was in that fucking pitch meeting. Like, all right, here's the deal. What's the concept? I'm coming on stage with a lion
in a cage,
like a stuffed one. No, a real one.
He got so sweaty during his special, he had to stop and change clothes.
Is that right?
Yeah, he literally stopped. He's like, "I'll be right back," and went backstage, changed his fucking clothes. He was drenched. I mean, just completely soaked with sweat.
Is if when they put that HD makeup on, and then there's all those lights on you, and then you're going hard.
Yeah.
Because it's your special, and you really want to make sure you're going to get a good one. And then if the fucking AC is a little messed up, if the crowd's all fucking packed in the wrong venue, you can get yourself into a situation.
I don't wear makeup on those things. I wouldn't wear it for Comedy Central. I don't wear it for the UFC. I don't wear it for anything. I just I don't know. This is what I look like. I think it came, first of all, from Fear Factor. When I first started doing Fear Factor, they would put like a little anti-shine on me, a little of this and a little that. And after a while, I'm like, look, these fucking people are covered in blood. I mean, they've got dirt all over their face, and I'm sitting there with makeup on. You have to touch me up in between scenes. You know how ridiculous that is?
Yes.
And then we would go from that to the UFC, where people would literally, their faces are getting busted open. They've got giant fucking
What's funny is I never noticed, like when I watch you on the UFC, I never noticed like, oh, wow, like he went on TV without makeup. That's so brave. That's such a courageous thing. You look like you.
Well, that's what I look like. I'm just like, I'm not, Mike Goldberg gets it. They spray it on. They got a fucking airbrush. I'm not kidding. They have an airbrush. They do it to everybody. All the ring girls and everything, they airbrush them. That's what they do.
I didn't go that far. But dude, my giant forehead, I got to get some.
My giant forehead.
Nah, dude, I got you beat, dude.
Do you?
You're not in the same weight class.
Guys.
You're not in the same weight class.
I sweat like crazy on stage. I sweat like crazy. I mean, my last special, I looked at it when I was doing the editing. I'm like, Jesus, I'm a sweaty fuck. Like, it just looks ridiculous. It looks like I'm on drugs.
Yeah, but you're up there working.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not like just standing there. So this one, I didn't have any. This last one, I made sure the AC was cranked. Like with each special, I learned something.
Yeah.
So I was like, make sure the AC's cranked. Don't fucking cake the makeup on or whatever. So it's just a little bit of that. That's all of those stupid little fucking things. Don't stick my parents in the front row, please. Stick them just beyond
your view.
Beyond the pale.
Yeah, and I don't show any audience anymore. I decided no more audience shots.
I never did.
Yeah, that's the way to go. No audience shots, and everything kind of mostly from the waist up, unless you need to see my legs for like a particular thing I'm doing.
Yeah,
I want it to be like
don't
I'm
give away all
club.
your secrets because now I feel like because there's so many specials coming out, so many fucking specials coming out that that then it becomes like you have to have like whatever your look is. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing about it is you have such a great act that's going to stand out anyways. But if you can add like your own sort of style of the way you shoot them, that becomes part of your thing. That's another way to try to get it out. Because, you get on Netflix with the specials, dude. You're fucking scrolling.
I guess so. I just wanted it to be like you're watching it. Like no cutaways. I don't want cutting to the left, cutting to the right, cutting for no reason. Like there was a director that I worked with once. It was like, we'd have to cut to the audience. That's how we're going to do our edits. I go, let's just try to do it with no edits. He says, we can't. I go, of course we can. If I do a good show, we could do it with no edits. He's like, no, look, trust me, we're going to do this. I'm like, no, this is my fucking special. Like, I don't even know you.
Yep.
Like, you're coming in here and you wanted to do all this stupid shit and film the crowd and, the people want to know the people are laughing. I'm like, they're going to hear them laughing. Like,
right.
It takes, in my opinion, it takes you out of it.
Bill Cosby himself.
People. Yeah, perfect.
He sits down for like an hour and 40 minutes, killing. They never go to the crowd. The background just slowly changes different colors, and guy absolutely murdered.
You and I were supposed to go see Bill Cosby in Vegas. We had made we were talking about doing it, but we both flaked, and we never wound up doing it. And that's one of my main regrets to this day. I would have liked to see him before the stink hit him.
I did. I saw it right before. God. I met him, and then 3 months later, I saw him.
Do you remember when he was doing shows still? Like, all those women were coming out, and he was still doing shows? Like, he was still doing shows. He was like, fuck it, I'm still doing them. And he went out and he still did those shows for a little while.
I think he thought he was powerful enough to just sort of ignore it, and then it wasn't going to it wasn't going to come around. But dude, I got to tell you, if you gave me 1,000 guesses, not 1,000, but if you gave me 200 guesses, his name would not be on that. Out of all the fucking people, like if you said, okay, there's a comic out there doing this shit.
Really?
You got your top 20 where you'd be like, oh yeah.
You know what?
Well, I never heard the rumors.
I did hear the rumors, and also there was a time.
Am I not in the clubhouse? How am I a comedian this long and I'm not fucking hearing the rumors?
I heard it from Hollywood people. I didn't hear it from comics. I heard it from people in the business. I heard it from like actors and from people that like work on TV show sets. I heard it during the news radio days. I had heard it. Yeah,
he was doing it at the show.
He was doing it forever.
Two people that were on the show.
Two people. Allegedly, who the fuck knows? But there's something. It was something unbelievably creepy. But after the accusations came out, when he was still doing shows, he would go on stage with one eye looking to the left, one eye looking straight. Remember, he developed a dead eye somewhere along the line, right? So he'd go on stage with that weird eye.
They cut him some slack. He's like 90.
I know.
Damn it for the grace of God.
But he's dying, right? I mean, that's my point. Is like things are falling off the wheels, right? The wheels are falling off the ride. And he's got this shirt on, this sweater on that says, "Hello, friend." And he's on stage, and he walks out there, and everybody's clapping and cheering, and some guy's yelling out, "You're a rapist! You're a rapist!" And then, they grab the guy and shuffle him out, and then people going, "We love you, Bill!" And he just doesn't even acknowledge
He's
the
like,
guy.
just ignore them, just ignore them.
Yeah. It was something crazy about that. It was like the last sparks before they threw the water on the fire. It was like there was just a little hope, like, we got some embers.
Last spark before they threw the gas, you mean?
I mean, his career. I mean, his life. They threw water on him. Like, I mean, it's over. Like, no one's going to go see him live now, right? I mean, it's kind of over.
Doesn't water put out the sparks?
Yes, that's what I mean. They threw the water on him.
Wouldn't that mean they saved him?
He had a moment of like there was still some sparks in his career.
Okay.
The accusations came out, but he was still doing these shows, and people still came out and they're like, "We love you, Bill." He's got this shirt on.
You got to explain analogies to me. I'm not the brightest guy.
It wasn't a good analogy. Your analogy is probably better. The blowing the flames on the fire. It's like we almost had it out. Like it was almost.
Dude,
out.
you know my last flight sort of caught on fire.
What? Helicopter flight?
No.
Airplane?
Jet. Yeah. Flying back from my special, Nashville to L.A., and we got up to cruising altitude. It smelled like burned popcorn, so I was like, did the stewardesses, like, I'll fast forward through this because I already told them my thing, but I was like, did they burn a fucking meal or something? And then it sort of went away, and then it kind of came back, and I felt this, everybody had the shades pulled down, and I felt like we were starting to descend. And then it felt really like, I felt like the wings shaking and shit. And I was like, oh, wow, man, like there must be some turbulence. I thought he was just descending to go underneath it and then go back up again. You're like, get a little bit smoother air here. Sorry about the bumpy ride. I thought he was going to be doing that shit. Never said a fucking word. And then all of a sudden, like, my drink that was in the little middle armrest started sliding forward like it was going to fall onto the floor. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then the stewardess came up. She goes, yeah, we're going to be landing here shortly, so I have to take those drinks, right? And then the woman next to me
So you landed premature?
Oh, yeah, we were only 50 minutes into the flight from Nashville to L.A. My favorite thing was the woman next to me takes her headphones off. She's like, are we here already? Thought we were on the Concorde. I was like, no.
So what was on fire?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was thinking like, oh, fuck, is it going to be something in somebody's bag, like the luggage or shit, or some shit like that value jet, something caught on fire underneath there. And like my whole thing was when we were going down, I wasn't nervous because he had full control of the plane, maneuvering it and all that. And I just knew like, yeah, if you smell smoke, that is the procedure is land immediately. So that's what he's doing. And we're 30,000 feet up. So he's going to land quickly. That's the shaking. That's fine. I feel it's making turns and banks. Everything's working. But my whole thing is, I don't know anything about planes, but I'm just like, if it burns through the wrong wire, if the hydraulics, like what the fuck's going to happen? So, yeah, we came into a landing in Little Rock and we came in like over this river and I couldn't see the runway.
Oh,
because you can't see straight. So I'm just looking out the side and I just see this fucking river and we seem to be following it. That's what I'm thinking. Like, is he going to sully this thing and fucking send us into the water?
Oh, Jesus.
And I was already thinking, and you know what's going to happen? The front part of the plane is going to get fucked up, so that door's not going to open. So I'm going to fucking fight past these first class people into coach. You know what I mean? Where real people work, so they're going to out muscle me as they get through that. I'm going to be fucked. If we use the first class door, I can take out the chick next to me. I'm
Half
fine.
the people are going to be unconscious anyway, just from the stress and the impact.
Do you know what was hilarious was the woman across the aisle from me was totally freaking out because unfortunately her dad, I guess, had died in a plane crash. So she was totally like totally fucking hyperventilating to the point it was making me angry, like how fucking freaked out she was. But what kills me is she's totally freaking out about that. But I swear to God, dude, like 10 minutes earlier, barefoot, walked in, used the bathroom, and came back out. Like that doesn't scare her. That doesn't scare her, but a couple of lights on in the cockpit, and the smell of burnt popcorn. Now she's freaking out.
Barefoot. What the fuck?
Barefoot in the bathroom
is
is a new thing. I've been flying for 20 years. I've never seen it. It started with socks, and now socks are even fucking worse. It's like you absorb it.
Piss. But whatever happened to women where they decided to wear shoes that hurt? Like what?
They always have.
But what the fuck is that about? That is such a bizarre choice.
Because of their lack of power, they couldn't get a good job. You know what I mean? Believe me, if it was switched the other way, if you made $1 less an hour, you couldn't imagine the shoes you'd be wearing right now, Joe.
$1 less an hour. Do you know that that's not true? Do you know that whole thing about the gender disparity, the wage gap, is not true? Do you know what that actually is? It's choices in jobs. It's not job for job. Like if you were an engineer and you're working next to a woman, she wouldn't be making 70 cents to your dollar. It's bullshit. It's a lie. And it's one of those propaganda things that they like to tout out. And you heard fucking Obama talk about it. Sarah Silverman talked about it when she was trying to get Hillary Clinton elected. It's a weird thing that people keep repeating.
I thought she was with Bernie
true.
Sanders.
I thought Sarah Silverman was with Hillary Clinton.
I thought it was initially Bernie Sanders. And then
maybe she was.
Then everybody jumped ship and went fucking Hillary, including Bernie, who then fucking endorsed Hillary. I was just like, dude, why would you do that? There goes your credibility.
You might be right. It might be Bernie she was endorsing. But it's that thing that they say that's just not true. What it is two factors. One, there's the less hours. Women tend to work less hours. They also tend to take risky...
Because they're lazy.
Well, they have kids for the most part.
I'm joking.
Maternity leave. One for the laugh. There's maternity leave. There's a bunch of other factors. They're less crazy, less ambitious. They don't have as much testosterone. Obviously, they're not as fucking crazy. Men are willing to work themselves into the grave. And when they're working side by side doing the same job, there's almost no disparity at all. There's a few jobs where men get paid more than women, but it's not much. And it's certainly not 70 cents to the dollar. And this is one thing that gets touted out over and over again by people. But it's just not true.
I have no idea.
Look, I had a friend of mine who I got in an argument about it. We was talking about divorce, where we were talking about a buddy of ours that got fucked in a divorce. And he goes, hey, maybe it's to make up for the fact that women only make 70 cents an hour. I go, okay, the fact that you say that drives me fucking crazy because you think it's a good point, don't you? And he goes, yeah. I go, do you ever research that? And he goes, no, but it's a fact. I go, it's not a fact. It's not a fact. They make 70 cents compared to...
A guy said this?
Yes, a guy said this. He's a guy who likes to argue. He's a friend of mine who likes to argue. And he's one of those guys. Oh, he's the worst.
You just got to, you got to walk away from that.
No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, but he's got a fucking problem. He doesn't like when he doesn't know something, and when he doesn't know something, he doesn't go, holy shit, really? He goes, that's not true. And I go, what the fuck? It's true. It's fucking true. Like, go Google it. Like, we got in a big fucking crazy argument.
Could that be a web series? I want to watch you guys drive from here to San Francisco, just watching you losing your shit. It's fucking true.
Well, a couple times we've gotten in these arguments. We've gotten in like 3 of them, and it's like when I don't know something, I'll say I don't know. Or if someone says something and I didn't know that, I'll go, holy shit, is that true? He's the opposite. He's like, that's not true. So,
if I don't know something, I'll do a bit on it.
Twice this fucking guy's done this. Besides
act like I know what I'm talking about.
But that's comedy.
I did a bit on the wage gap on my new special. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well,
my whole thing was like, how the fuck did they find out what everybody makes? You just call up the IRS? Can we get W-2s on everybody? They're going to give you that information.
Well, I don't know. I
have no idea, but all I know is it's harder for them straight across the board. That is the thing.
For women?
Just everything is harder and all of our lives are easier. That's the overall fucking message.
I see. You're being sarcastic.
I am. No, it's just like
you have one of my favorite jokes of all time about motherhood being the hardest job in the world. He goes, how's it the hardest job in the world when you're wearing fucking pajamas all day?
Yeah. No job you can do in your pajamas.
I love that bit. My wife hates it.
No, I'm not saying it's not fucking
but it's funny.
Difficult. Yeah.
It's obviously difficult, but it's a funny point.
I used to do the whole thing. Yeah. Go work on an oil rig that fucking blows up.
Exactly.
And as you jump into the fucking like on fire water, going underneath that, and then you're just sitting there with 2nd-degree burns and salt fucking water, hoping that Coast Guard gets there before the shark eats you alive. Talk to me about the terrible twos.
I have a friend of mine who works at an oil rig in Canada, in northern Alberta, where it gets 50 below zero. And I go, how do you do it? Because they work outside. I go, how do you do it? He goes, well, you keep the truck running, and you work for about 7 to 10 minutes at a time, and then you have to go inside the truck for about a half an hour. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, you can't take it anymore because any exposed skin you have, he goes, you try to cover your face up as much as possible. You put a ski mask on, but just your eyes, just all around your eyes is all fucked up. Like everything's fucked up. It's like it's just too cold. You just can't do it. 50 below zero. They just work for short stretches of time. Then they go in the car, and then the other guy will go out while he's in there, and then he'll go out for like 10 minutes, and then they take a break for another 10, 15 minutes. Then the first guy will go back out again.
Yeah, all of those shows make me so thankful that I'm a comedian.
Those fucking crab fishing shows.
What's the fucking worst job you had? Just as far as physically, like I will kill myself before I'm 30 if I fucking do this.
Out of high school, I worked on there was a Knights of Columbus Hall that was having a wheelchair ramp built, and I had to carry cement bags and pressure-treated lumber every day. And I only lasted a little over 2 weeks, I think.
I lasted 8 days. I was a gopher on a construction site. We were roofing in June or July. And I just remember having to bring up those. First of all, I bought the wrong color fucking shingles. They wanted the fucking ebony one, and this was off ebony. I don't know what the fuck it was. So I had to go all the way back, unload the fucking things I loaded on, load some more back, brought the fucking things back. And I just remember, dude, it was just like I never ate so much in my life. Like I'd eat like 3 sandwiches, and like a half hour later, I'd be like starving, and just weight was just falling off of me. I was just like, dude, what the? This is insane. But the thing was, if I hung in there for like a month, I would have got my sea legs. But I just was like, but I didn't have it. I knew it. I always knew. Like when I played drums and everything like that, every time I thought I was getting good, I'd go into Guitar Center, and some 8-year-old kid would get on a kit, and I'd be like, holy fuck! Like I was like, dude, I would pay you to give me lessons. And it's just like that when whatever you're trying to do, when you see like a kid come in and he fucking blows you away. It's just like all right. This is a hobby, Bill. This is a hobby.
Well, doing construction is definitely not a fucking hobby. It's just brutal back-breaking labor.
There's a gift as far as like seeing how things go together. Oh yeah, dude. There's an art to everything.
Well, there's an art to construction.
There's the Louis C.K.'s of fucking contractors.
Oh God, yeah. No, I mean as far as building houses, but I mean laboring. Like carrying bags of cement, there's no fucking art to carrying bags of cement.
But they would give me shit to do, like, make this fucking miter cut 45, and I fucked the same cut up 3 times in a row. It was to frame a door jamb, and I kept measuring to the inside of the corner rather than the outside of the corner. Remember the third time I did it, my boss just looked at me, grabbed the wood, and he looked at me the whole time, walked up to the frame, and never took his eyes off me, and the frame was behind him, and he just stuck it to the fucking wall and just stared at me. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh, God, dude. He's like, dude, you went through like fucking $20 worth of stock to make one fucking cut. Like, what are you doing here? And I was just like, oh. And I didn't even pick up my check. I didn't even pick up my check. I drove up to the site. We worked Monday through Friday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I drove up to the site, and I just looked at it, and my body and everything just said, dude, fuck this. And I just kept driving. He never called. Why would he call me? I'm the guy wasting lumber. He doesn't give a shit. He got free labor out of me, and I didn't give a fuck. And I forget what I did after that. But that was a rough time for me. But like I always knew, like if I didn't like a job and stuff like that, it's like the De Niro thing in what was that? The Heat. You got to be willing to walk at any moment. You got to be willing to fucking walk.
You got to know it's bad.
Yeah. That was it.
That was probably the toughest physical job that I had, and it was also a good lesson, because it was a lesson that like if you work for somebody else and you're just doing labor, you're just doing mindless labor, you don't have any time for anything else. You think you got 8 hours in a day, and there's still another 16. You'll get shit done. You're exhausted. You're fucking beaten down. I would go to the gym. I'd try to work out. And I remember trying to hit the bag, and I just had nothing. There was nothing there. I'd never felt so tired in my life. Yep. And I was only like 18. I should have been full of piss and vinegar. I was just dead. And I remember like all my ambition wheels would just ramp it up. I was like, okay, this is not my fucking future. I got to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Because I had these delusions that I was going to become a carpenter. I was like, well, I'll get in the union. I'll start building houses. That's a good gig, which it is, if you're a good carpenter. That's what I thought I
was going to do. Yeah, you know what? It's a good gig if you're the guy telling the people to go build the fucking house. But if you're the guy out there pouring the forms, you've noticed that's mostly young guys. Like, that is a fucking young... Even like landscaping. Like, after a while, you got to get a crew. And you got to be the guy, like, sending the crews out. Because there's only so long that you can just... Like, I feel like laborers and that, they have, like, the same career trajectory as, like, a professional athlete. Somewhere around 35 to 38, your body's going to be like, dude, I can't fucking do this anymore.
You just break down. There was... I had a bulging disc in my neck, and I went to an MRI place. And there was a lady who went in before me.
A lady?
And this lady, I was looking at different people's MRIs, and this lady had the most fucking ridiculous cartoon bulge of her disc. Some poor woman who, I think she worked at a laundromat or something like that, just carrying baskets of clothes, and her back was just so fucked up. And she was probably like 40 years old or something like that, came over here from... Mexico or Guatemala or something. And I remember looking at her back, like this poor lady has no choice. She has to go to work. There's no way around this, and there's no jobs for her other than this. She can't speak English. Like, she's got to do what the fuck she's got to do. And she had...
Dude, you went into her chart, huh? You started reading
right
up
there.
on her.
It was just sitting up there on the screen. And I asked the guy, I go, whose back is that? He goes, it's hers. I go, holy shit. I go, does mine look that bad? He goes, no. He goes, that's bad. He goes, that's bad. It's real bad. Like, she could barely walk. Like, she had sciatica up and down her leg.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah, well, that's what that is.
Leg.
What sciatica is, a bulging disc. It's a disc that's pressing against the nerves. You had it? What'd you do about it? I
went to a masseuse.
That helped?
Oh, yeah. And she worked on... she's a magician, dude. She started with, like... I can't remember who she started with, but how it came through me was through my drum teacher. So it was, like, MMA people...
Oh, okay.
And then, the whole, some drummer or guitarist or something was into MMA, fucked up something, and they say, hey, go to my masseuse. And then she got all the musicians with, like, the tendonitis and all that shit in the forearms. And then it came around to me through my drum teacher, and she was like my left side was fucked up, like the left leg, and she started with my right shoulder.
Because your right shoulder is compensating for your left side.
Yeah, so she was doing the whole, all right, let's try to get some information, see what's going on here. And then she'd do something, I just go like, ah! And she'd be like, she'd be like, okay, there's some information. All right. And then scale of 1 to 10, the pain. And dude, like, what she did for me, like literally, she went so fucking deep. It was like these memories come out. I remember my brother used to just give me Charlie horses and shit for no fucking reason.
You remembered it?
Yeah, like
it was stored in your muscle?
No, like the pain of it. Like it just pops up. I wouldn't be like literally thinking. You just have the thought like, oh, yeah, my brother used to always kick me in the fucking leg there. And there was another one. I remember I was playing pickup hockey and I had no stuff. All I had was the fucking the helmet and the gloves and the skate. I had like sweatpants and like a fucking t-shirt or whatever. And I'm out there like an asshole. And I, going down the ice, and all of a sudden the other team gets it. So I pop over to fucking start skating backwards. I caught an edge and just went up in the air and just landed on my left ass cheek and fucking that whole side. Dude, I landed so fucking hard. Like, I couldn't breathe and my eyes were watering. It's like literally when you're skating, it's like being thrown out of a moving car, right? So I got up and everyone was laughing. I fucked up my elbow. It's hockey. So you just, I'm fine. I get to the bench and I was fine. And a couple shifts later, it kind of worked itself out. And I had bruised my leg so bad. It was like 3 days later. I was on the road and I was showering or something. I just saw on the side of my leg, it looked like I'd sat in grease or something. And then I looked all the way to the back of my leg. It looked like someone took a pipe and just had fucking whacked me as hard as you could across the back of my leg. It was this straight fucking line. And I think my sciatic nerve thing which is a culmination of all of that shit. And then there was that last thing that did it. So she fucking worked all the way out of that. She gave me all these stretches, and then I found like a good chiropractor and all that. And I've been
all good now?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'm going to show you a machine.
I couldn't even sit down because of... my feet would start to tingle and stuff. With numbness is way worse than that's beyond pain, is what I heard. So the numbness thing is worse. So she goes, all right, we're going to work you from numbness down to pain, and then pain hopefully down to that. And I just started going every fucking week. But
I got a machine I have to show you. It's called a reverse hyper, and it's a machine that decompresses your back while strengthening it. It's you lift weights with it. You lift your legs up, and then it strengthens your back. And then as you lift your legs down,
how do you find all this shit?
Well, I work for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I mean, I've been an athlete
No, but you've
my
been
whole
doing
life.
this shit for every time. I got this fucking chamber I float
I
in.
pay attention to stuff. I mean, that's what I do.
I guess I pay attention to the wrong shit.
I've been doing martial arts since I was a little kid. I mean, maintaining your body is a big part of that. It's one of the most difficult parts of martial arts is not getting injured all the time. Because martial arts are all about hurting people.
Right.
So it's practicing hurting each other. So, like, you have to find good partners. And then
There's
you also
always
have to
that
find
guy in class that goes too fucking hard.
There's always that. That's
Charlie Murphy told me about that guy.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Charlie sent me, and I only lasted a couple weeks at the dojo. My fucking ADD. Maybe I'll learn how to cook now. I left. So I never. But Charlie was just like, all right, here's the deal. You're gonna go down there.
When was this?
Oh, back when we were doing the Rich Bitch tour.
Really?
Yeah.
You were doing what kind of martial arts were you doing?
Whatever style he has, his fucking dude. I only lasted like 2 weeks. I actually took jujitsu with Dom Fig.
Did you really?
In the late 90s. I lasted like 5 weeks of doing that. I actually did all right. But then the guy teaching, he couldn't speak English, and this lady like dislocated like her fucking rib cage.
Ooh.
Something fucked up happened, and he didn't know what to do. And I just remembered like, I was coming home with bruises and shit. It was like that was like when pilot season you could actually get on something, and I was just like, "The fuck am I doing? Why don't I make enough money where I have security?"
Back when you could actually get on something. Isn't that funny? You remember development deals?
Yeah, and shit could actually happen. And
you would go to Montreal and get a deal, and then you'd be set.
I just remember the guy who goes, "Skip the hip." It's like this. No good. It's like this. It's good. That was the whole fucking class.
Portuguese,
like, Like this. No. Like this.
Hip escape.
Yeah.
Shrimp. Yeah.
Skip the hip.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck he was saying. And, I learned some shit. I still know if I'm on my back how to get somebody into an armbar, but it's probably, I look at martial arts, it's like comedy. So, like, I think that worked in the late 90s, but now it'd be like a corny joke now. And I think like that move, be like, dude, you're going to fucking try that? Like an 8-year-old knows how to get out of that.
Like you're funny at the office, you think you're going to go kill at the Ryman Auditorium.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference.
Yeah, it's more like a time thing where like that was probably state-of-the-art shit. Whatever was state-of-the-art then, I mean, you're talking, dude, oh my God, it was like 18 years ago. There's no fucking way that move. Everybody knows that moves. It's like playing drums.
Well, actually, all the standard old school moves of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are still good. They're all still good if you're good at them. Like there's some guys that are really good at what you would call basic is a weird word. Yeah, basic's a weird word, and people get upset when you say their jiu-jitsu is very basic. But some of the best guys ever have what you would call basic jiu-jitsu. It's not that it's basic; it's just they have only a small amount of moves that they use, but they have them sharpened to a razor's edge.
Right.
And it's not that they're not capable of doing everything else. It's just some guys, like there's guys that are known for just having a guillotine choke. That's all they do, and you just got to avoid that fucking guillotine choke, and they might still get you with it. There's some guys that just win by triangle all the time, only by triangle. And there's guys who only win by heel hook. There's like a bunch of different guys like that.
Who's like the California kid?
Uriah Faber?
Oh, dude, that guy's hilarious. Did you see him when he was on The Ultimate Fighter?
Sure.
Okay, that thing when he gave that kid shit early on when he was trying to make the show, and whatever, he got caught and pick a move, whatever the fuck, rear naked choke or something like that, and then when the kid goes in and he loses, rear naked choke, and as he went out, like Uriah just goes like, he goes, that's what he's known for. Look him up. And what I loved about that, it was like old school parenting. Like no fucking sympathy. It's just like, and I thought it was a very empowering thing to do to that person. Like once he got past the defeat, like you'd be sitting there going like, what the fuck? You know that this is what the guy did. Let him beat you with anything else but that.
That's so easy said.
And this is on me.
It's so much easier said than done. It's incredibly difficult to stop someone who's really good at something if they're really good at it.
Oh, I don't think I'd have a problem, Joe. I've rented the last 20
UFC kickboxer.
What's the we got to wrap up. I do like an hour here, so like give me all things Joe Rogan, where we can see you, any UFC things coming up. We talked earlier, there's this giant
one in Madison Square Garden, because the UFC was illegal in New York for 19 years, and it was all because of corruption. This is a funny story. The Culinary Union, the guys who used to own the UFC, they sold the UFC, but the guys who used to own the UFC also owned Station Casinos, they owned Red Rocks, and they owned a bunch of different casinos, like I think 22 separate casinos, maybe even more. And all their casinos were non-union. And this was a vote by the casino themselves. Like, they got paid well, and I guess they just decided, look, we don't need to be union. So the culinary union was trying to muscle the owners of the UFC into going union. And so the way they would do it is, I mean, they have a bunch of different things they do. They'll stand out and
the
pick
culinary union
the culinary
is this
union.
strong.
They're huge. They're huge. And
they got those knives.
They managed to keep the UFC out of New York, and then one of the guys that was in their pocket got arrested for corruption. He was the main guy that was keeping the UFC out of New York. He went down last year out of corruption, and right after he went down, they passed it in New York State because it was passed in every single state.
They told the public that it was all that human cockfighting.
Exactly,
blah,
but
blah,
meanwhile,
blah.
they had kickboxing, boxing, everything else was legal, but they wouldn't let the UFC in. And so finally, it's legal now, and now that it's legal, and also there's new owners, so the culinary union doesn't have a beef with these new owners because they don't even have any casinos. And the new event that they're going to put in Madison Square Garden has 3 world title fights, 4 former world champions, 3 different fighters who have fought for the title before. I mean, it's a fucking unbelievably stacked card.
Crazy.
It's the greatest card in the history of the sport.
Conor McGregor's fighting? Conor
McGregor's fighting Eddie Alvarez. There's 3 title fights, but there's 2 champions in the final. Conor is the featherweight champion. Eddie Alvarez is the lightweight champion. And if Conor wins, he'll be the first guy to hold 2 titles simultaneously in the UFC.
How do you get in that Conor McGregor shape? Is it too late for me at 48?
No, you can do it tomorrow.
Well, he's just
I give you a pill.
Come on.
I'm going to give you a pill.
I ain't doing that.
I'm going to give you a mindset. I'm going to teach you.
I'll take the mindset. You can't. Oh, you're just fucking with me.
Oh, you think?
No, I thought I had hope. I had fucking hope.
Well, he's like in great shape.
He's like in fucking. Remember Tommy Hearns? Mm-hmm. Like that level shredded. Where Tommy was like a 6 foot tall fucking middleweight.
Yeah.
Like somehow he could make like what is middleweight?
140. Well, he was 147 when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard. It was welterweight. He was scrawny. Yeah.
Unbelievable. He was just like. It was like you drew him.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get that fucking shredded?
Well, he had that tiny waist and big, broad shoulders and a ridiculous right hand power.
Well, he had that reach, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when he knocked out Roberto Duran, that's one of the sick. It was a hook, right?
I think it was a right hand. He face planted him. I think he hit him with a bunch of things, but I think he hit him with he dropped him twice, but then he face planted him with a right hand where Duran just fell like a tree. Boom.
Yeah, like Pacquiao did.
Yes, exactly, like Marquez. Conor McGregor is not in the best shape. This is what's interesting. I mean, he's obviously in great shape, but he's got a problem with his endurance. And it's one of the things that makes this fight interesting. Like, he got tired.
I heard you saying because he has explosive movements, he uses up a lot of energy.
He's so fucking fast. He's so fast and so explosive that when you have that style of fighting, it's like sprinting. Whereas Nate Diaz, the guy who fought, was more of like a marathon runner. Like Nate.
I love Nate.
Nate's awesome. And so is his brother Nick. But their style is more like they don't go 100%. They don't use 100% of their energy with every punch. They're more like 60s, maybe 70%. And they're always fresh. And they do a lot of marathon running. They do a lot of triathlons, and they're always doing endurance work. So their endurance is a big part of their ability to recover and push a pace that most people can't survive from. So Conor is not that guy. Conor's the guy that gets people out of there.
when he was fighting like Nate Diaz, like towards the end, he did a lot of looking at the clock.
Did a lot of running away, too.
Yeah.
He had a reset. He literally ran away from him and reset. And, it's smart for him.
That reminded me one time when I first did stand-up and Steve Sweeney was late and I was out of material and I just kept looking at the back door like, is he coming? Is he coming? I got nothing left.
I remember those days. The headliner,
that was at the Brockton Knicks comedy stop. Remember that? And you stood up on that. Like it was like those awful stages where it was a really small stage, like a giant. It's like you standing on top of a fucking refrigerator for whatever reason, and you're like looking down on the people. It was almost like this Andy Kaufman like talk show desk, but it was the stage.
I don't know if I did Brockton. I don't know if I did the Kowloon.
I think you were gone by then.
I might have been gone.
I did the Randolph. I did Brockton, Framingham. And then I think that was it for the Knicks. And then there was, of course, the one downtown.
I never did Framingham either, I don't think. I think that was gone, too.
Oh, Kowloon, of course. The Loons.
I did the Kowloon. And I did Giggles. Mike Clark's room. Did you ever do that? Giggles on Route 1? Across the street. And so anyway, the Conor McGregor thing, like he's not... I would say he doesn't have the best cardio in the world. You can't say he's not in great shape because he did go 5 rounds with Nate Diaz. But he's not the same kind of shape that like Nick Diaz has swam from Alcatraz 5 times. Gets in the fucking ocean with shark-infested Northern California waters. Sweating. And that, you have to be in incredible shape to do
You'd
that.
be out of your fucking mind to do that.
That too. But you got to be in incredible shape. I got a buddy of mine who just got done running the Bigfoot 200. He ran 204 fucking miles. 205 miles in 78 hours. 3 days of running. 3.5. 3 days.
No
and
fucking way.
Yes, fucking way. Yep, it's called the Bigfoot 200. It's all documented.
That's like running 60 to 70 miles a day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe less than that. 50, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not
Whatever
good
it
with
is.
numbers.
Yeah, 70s, 21.
I'll say
yeah.
63. I'm going 63 miles a day.
I like what you're saying. 3 is 9. I like it. 18. Yeah, he's run hundreds a couple of times. He actually ran 100 in June to prepare for the 200 in August. It's crazy.
So his half marathon is 4 marathons, basically. Essentially,
he's a fucking animal. I mean, he runs.
Does he run with those feet sneakers?
No,
we can see the toes.
No, he's sponsored by Under Armour, so he wears the Under Armour fat tire shoes. It's a nice cushiony shoe. But he'll run 14, 15 miles a day every day.
Who came up with that?
Bigfoot 200, savages, fucking barbarians. His name's Cameron Haynes. He's a professional bow hunter. And to get in shape for bow hunting, because bow hunting is all about like climbing up mountains and shit, especially when you're hunting elk. I hunt with that guy, and it's fucking exhausting. And I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not in great shape, but I'm in pretty good shape. I could barely keep up with him. I mean, barely. He's barely out of breath, and I'm fucking dying. I'm drenched in sweat, heaving, and trying to follow. Because, like,
well, you don't want to bring me along for that one, then,
or anybody else. I mean, the way he does it is a very unique. He's like one of the most successful elk hunters in the world, and one of the reasons is his shape, because he can get to places. Like, you see an elk, and the elk goes over the ridge. The key is you got to get to that fucking elk quickly, because it's moving over that ridge, right? So if you're looking at an elk and it goes over the top of a hill and goes to the other side, the quicker you can get to that, the closer it's going to be to that hill. You got to get within 60 yards, and you don't know how far it's going to move in the time it takes you to get up there. Well, it takes me maybe 10 minutes to get up there. It'll take him 2 minutes. So by those extra 8 minutes, that fucking elk's way out of range. You go down the hill, after it's going to see you. You're never going to get a shot at it. So he has way more shot opportunities.
Do you have any the one that got away sort of shot, like you had it, you lined it up and whatever, you exhaled at the wrong time and you missed it and then it took off?
That's elk hunting. So I had 5 of those 2 weeks ago. There's 5 of those, at least, maybe 6. We hunted I shot that one with a rifle because we just couldn't get close enough with a bow.
After 5, do you feel your guide going like, dude, are you going to fucking kill one here? Is there more pressure?
No, that's just how it is. Elk hunting is hard. When you shoot an elk, you fucking earn it.
When are you going to go wild boar hunting again?
I'm going with you. You and I are going to go. We're going to schedule something soon. We'll schedule something. Let's schedule something like maybe after Christmas.
Yeah, give me an Uzi and then I'll go. No.
I'm going to get you.
Yes. As it comes running. Because those things I saw when I was saying they're watching the chef there from Hell's Kitchen. God damn it. I said his name earlier. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I made his scrambled eggs again this morning. My wife fucking loves them.
What kind of scrambled eggs is he?
Oh, dude, he puts, this is what he does. He first of all, he gets the pot, little pan going, a little olive oil, puts some tomatoes still on the vine in there with some mushrooms. He just lets that fucking sizzle. And then he takes 3 eggs and like a dollop of fucking butter, puts it in there, doesn't mix it. Already puts it on the flame, and then he starts mixing this thing around. He talks about all the chemistry. You don't want to mix it before you put it in there. Doesn't put any salt in there because some reason that does it. He's like, on the heat, now off the heat. See there? And you have to do it because the heat, it's in here. I've watched it a zillion fucking times when I'm watching this thing.
So the heat's in the pan.
Heat's in the pan. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I learned. I learned from this guy, Chef Roy, Roy Choi, who started the whole gourmet food truck thing. I did like Favreau's shooting this thing, and I went over there and I got to sit. And he taught me this shit about the grilled cheese sandwich. And what I learned about these guys is, dude, it's all controlling the heat. Mm-hmm. Like my whole shit is just like medium high. I'm like medium high for 10 minutes. And it's like you're not cooking. You're just standing there like a fucking bouncer or some shit. It's like. So he does
manipulate it.
So he does all of that, and when it gets to a certain level of coming together, then he takes his creme fraiche and puts it in there.
What is creme fraiche?
I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's delicious, right? And then you get it, you bring it back on the heat, and then salt in, right? He puts that shit in. You go and you just keep stirring this fucking thing, and it almost looks like it's water. You don't think it's done. You taste it, and you're like, oh, my God, this is great. Then you take it off, right? No, wait, you chop up a little bit of dill, you sprinkle it up, you mix it in there, and then by then the sourdough toast pops up, little olive oil on that. You put the fucking scrambled eggs on that with the fucking tomatoes and the mushroom. Give it to your wife. Over.
Woo.
Over. But then they love it, and then they keep telling you to make it, and you're just like, fuck. Can't just do the old scrambled egg with the cheese in it?
I got to get you some eggs. We have our own chickens. I have 23 chickens.
How long can they lay eggs before you have to fucking retire them?
Well, they just stop laying eggs after a while, but
then you
I don't
stew
eat them.
right?
No, I just let them live. They just live and then they die. I've had a bunch just die. They get old and they die. I've had chickens for now, I want to say 5 years, somewhere around there, 4 or 5 years, maybe 5 years. And they just fucking die sometimes. I've had but I have some of them that are like 5 years old that are still 5 years old.
I was just picturing this chicken at his desk, just having those classic 1950s heart attack. Back then when nobody knew shit about fucking heart attacks, it was terrifying. Why does everybody's hearts just fucking stop?
Yeah.
And they were all eating bacon and fucking martinis and all this shit. They had no idea. And that was back when they had no respect for martial arts. It was all like, I'll tell you nothing stronger than a good old Sunday punch, and they'd be sitting there eating fucking steaks, and people were just dropping right and left, like dropping dead.
I know you like conspiracy theories. You like a good conspiracy theory that's been proven.
I like a good one.
The good one.
I don't like fucking silly ones. I don't like being lumped in with people who have silly ones.
I understand that. Here's a real one
that was
just proven. It was in the New York Times. They proved that scientists were paid off by the sugar industry in the 1960s.
Oh, yeah, I have absolutely.
They were paid off to make saturated fat the culprit for all these diseases and fat people and heart attacks when it was actually sugar.
I'm loving
they were
where
trying
this
to
is
take
going.
the blame away from sugar and pin it on saturated fat.
So
these scientists, bacon is actually not bad for you. Saturated fat is actually not bad for you. There's a giant illusion that cholesterol, everybody thinks, your cholesterol's high. Dietary cholesterol barely moves the needle on blood lipids. Blood lipids, like when they measure your diet, when you measure cholesterol in your blood, has to do with a lot of things.
This sounds great to me, but you're also a stand-up comedian. You don't have a white lab coat on. I'm sitting here like, okay, Dr. Rogan.
I read these things. What gives people high cholesterol is, first of all, the LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol is good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and you can have high of one, because if you have high of the other one, it balances each other out. I'll send you a podcast if you have the time to listen to it. It's
you can say it if you can fucking sit there long enough. You ferret.
It's hard to sit down and listen to this stuff. But there's a guy, Chris Kresser, who's on my podcast, who explained it all and did it in a scientific way.
One of the great names of all time,
Chris Kresser.
Chris Kresser. Coming out in a
Very
second period.
Guy.
Chris Kresser scores.
Oh, but anyway, it's not cholesterol. It's a lot of it is hereditary. Like if you have high blood pressure or dietary cholesterol or high cholesterol.
It's like with David Letterman. David Letterman, he didn't have an ounce of fat on him, and he needed open heart surgery.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of that's hereditary. Some people just get a shit roll of the dice. Just like some kids are born with leukemia. I mean, it's not something you did. It's not like they've been smoking since they were a fetus.
You know what my big fitness thing is? I'm big time into body weight.
Oh, yeah.
Body weight exercises. So I'm trying to get myself strong enough to do a front lever at fucking 48 years of age.
What's a front lever?
Front lever is basically you hang from the chin-up bar, you bring your legs straight up, and you hang in there like a fucking table. And you got to put part of your weight behind the bar. So there's all of these exercises to
Explain that?
Okay.
Hold on a second. So you do a chin up.
Imagine, do you remember planking?
Yes.
Just imagine if you did it on your back. You're laying on your back in the air, but you're hanging from the chin-up bar, and your legs are straight out like that.
Okay, yeah.
So I've been fucking with that for like months, trying to build up the strength. And I got myself to the point, because the whole thing is you got to be behind the bar.
Right.
And what's great is I got this big head, so it kind of fucking, there's a lot of weight already behind the bar. But so I've got to a point now where I can actually... Like, I used to be almost hanging upside down, and then gradually you can kind of you have your legs in a ball, so like the weight is basically underneath it. And I've gotten to the point now where I can just start to extend one leg, and then I fall to the ground. It ain't bad. I'm going to get there, though.
You'll get there.
I just want to bust that out one time, because I got a buddy of mine. He has a bet with me that when I'm 70, I can't do 10 pull-ups.
What?
So just to fucking...
70?
No. When I turn 70,
till 70 to cash the bet in.
Yeah,
as long as you just keep going, you get there.
That's the thing.
Stallone's in his 70s.
Yeah, but if I
he could do 10 push-ups, or chin-ups.
If I don't have that bet,
I understand.
If I don't have that fucking, so it's a great carrot that I'm chasing there.
I understand.
Yeah,
you could do that though. It has nothing to do with age. You could do that move.
Does it have to do with butter?
do
bacon and shit like that.
Lifting. Just gotta, the best way to do it. Honestly, start doing body weight exercises. Do a lot of chin ups and stuff like that, but do them really slowly. That's one of the best ways to really develop some serious strength. Like a lot of people like to do chin ups. They like to do those like kipping chin ups you see in CrossFit. What I like to do is
kipping?
Like you go, like you kind of like kick up. And you kick up. Have you ever
seen people do that? I always think that's like cheating.
It is like cheating. But that's
people who arc their back on the bench press.
But it's a hard workout if you do a bunch of them, but it's just there's a lot of criticism.
Why does CrossFit have to be done in front of everybody? Why can't they just stay in their gym? Why are they always running up and down the street like, look at us, we're working out?
Because it's like, look at us, we're working out.
Should I be more mature about that?
Nope. You should rub it in their face. They're like vegans in a lot of ways. They want you to know what they're doing. It's like That's part of the whole thing. It's like you become. There's a whole article about that, about it's replacing religion for a lot of people. You become tribal and you get involved in these group activities, and you identify with that group. Like you become a CrossFitter, or you become a vegan, or you become not that there's anything wrong with being either one of those things.
I drove by one. It was like. The gym is like a garage door, and it's wide open, and they're making all this fucking noise, and it's like, I work out too. I have the door closed. Listen to a little Iron Maiden lately.
But that's part of the fun of it. They want everybody to know they're doing it. So you walk by, you go, wow, Billy's in shape. Look at him. Look at him. He's fucking lifting. He's doing
I've been
presses.
Out having breakfast in like outside cafe, and all of a sudden 20 of these maniacs just run by, get to the corner, and then they run back the other way. You just want to fucking throw your pancakes at them.
Well, it's worse if you're walking and they fucking almost run you over. You're like, hey, asshole, this is not a gym, okay? This is a sidewalk. Like, don't. This is not a place for you to conduct your class.
Maybe it's like a green thing. Like they think that treadmills take up too much energy.
No, I think you were right.
You don't think so?
They want people to know what they're doing. They don't have the space to, they don't have a track. So they decide to use a sidewalk. I've seen that. I've seen like groups of people run up and down streets. It's fucking stupid.
I saw it when I was in Santa Monica. I was fucking laughing my ass off.
It's stupid.
Sitting there running with fucking accountants.
But CrossFit itself, what it does is it gets people to get competitive. And when they get competitive, the good thing about it is like there's a bunch of people around you, you're all pushing each other. The bad thing about it is a lot of people, their form falls apart when they start doing high repetitions and they get competitive with it and then they start getting injured. I know a lot of fucking people that have hurt themselves doing CrossFit.
Kettlebells, people always fuck themselves up.
Right behind you there, baby.
Yeah, I don't fuck with
those things. You just got to do them slowly and do them with correct form. The beautiful thing about kettlebells is you can get a great workout with a light kettlebell. I could get a great workout with a 35-pound kettlebell. Just light kettlebell, moving it slowly, controlling it every step of the way. And you can do all sorts of exercises. You go from one to the other, and you get a full body workout that works. It's actual functional strength. Like it'll apply the athletics.
I'm leaving the reservation I'm going all old school. I got those atomic holds, like that American Ninja shit. Those little fucking look like little cannonballs.
Those are great.
I got those hanging from my ceiling, and I'm trying to get the ones that look like the nunchuck handles, and I fucking went to order the thing, and they never came, and then they sent me an email going like, did you still want them? It's like, I ordered them.
Go to Rogue Fitness, roguefitness.com. They have all that crazy shit.
They got that well, that's what I bought my rack through those guys.
Okay.
And I got a speed bag, and then I'm going to get those Swedish bars and see if I can get it myself up to be able to do a fucking Human flag.
Oh, shit.
Well, I like the shit where I'm working towards something. I can't just get on an elliptical every day like, I'm doing a half hour. And the big thing is what's my new playlist, because I will get bored shitless with that. But I feel like with the speed bag, I suck at that, but I'm getting a little bit better at it. I'm like learning something. It's funny. My wife wanted it. It wasn't man enough. I didn't want to have the thing, but
boogie. There's something cool about doing it. But do you know, like Julio Cesar Chavez didn't even know how to do that? It's kind of useless for boxing. I mean, it gives you a little bit of endurance for your shoulders. But when the fuck was the last time you punched somebody like this? Imagine if someone stood in front of you and you punched them like this.
Well, I think it was to build up. It was supposed to your timing, then also build up your arms so you could keep your arms up
shoulder
and protect
endurance.
your head.
Yeah,
right.
But Julio Cesar Chavez, it's hilarious. He's one of the greatest boxers of all time, and he always used to laugh because he would like try to do it and he couldn't do it. Like he would.
But then he could knock everybody out in the fucking gym.
Everybody. I mean, he was a fucking monster.
Listen, dude, I'm just trying to get in the. I used to go to Gleason's gym, and they knew I was there, and they used to call me Billary Swank, because Million Dollar Baby had just come out.
Billary Swank, I love it.
Oh no, we had a great time. Charlie Murphy once again gave me the lay. He gave me the lay of the land. Charlie goes, "You going down there?" He's like, "Okay." He goes, "You're going to be down there about 3 weeks. I'm doing a bad Charlie Murphy. He goes, someone's going to come up to you and be like, yo, how long you been boxing? Yo, you nice, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you get in the ring? He goes, do not get in the ring because he wants to go in there and try out all this shit that he doesn't have the nerve to try against a professional fighter, and you're going to get fucked up, right?
Exactly.
3 weeks, whatever the fuck he said, on the nose. This guy comes up, black dude from Brooklyn, starts coming up to a white guy, stand-up comedian from the suburbs going, yo, you nice, man. You can box. And I just started laughing. I go, dude, get the fuck out of here. I go, I'm not getting in the ring with you. And he fucking laughed and walked away. And I told Charlie, thinking he would laugh. You know, Charlie's just so fucking real deal. He just goes, I fucking told you. It's like I told you.
Charlie Murphy's one of the best guys of all time. I did that Maxim tour with him. I got to know him. We did 22 dates together. Yeah, he's a fucking great guy. I really love that dude. I really do.
He's one of those guys. When my fucking phone went in the toilet, I lost his fucking number, so I haven't been able to call him.
I think I got it. I'll give it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love that guy.
All right, we got to wrap this up, dude. I'm going to sit in like 9 million hours of traffic. Joe, you're the fucking best. You've been one of the top comics for what, 20, 25, I don't know how many fucking years. Since I was in Boston when I saw you at the Kowloon and you did your Tigers fucking bit, which sounds like, oh, it's just Tigers fucking. Dude, just the noise you made of the tiger was fucking unbelievable. I still remember your bit making fun of the chicks out there with the hair like a giant root. Oh my God. You're a fucking monster. So I'm so happy for you that you got another special that's out on Netflix. It's called Triggered. Please watch it. If you love it, please rate it. So, it'll stay on the front, whatever that fucking scrolly thing is. And that's it, man. Now you're going to hook me up with some elk meat.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
Thanks, Bill. I really appreciate you having me on,
No worries.
man. And I feel the same way about you, man. You're one of my all-time favorites.
We're going to have a big hug after this. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. All right, what's up? Bill Burr here. All right, how great was that? The great Joe Rogan. Finally got him on. After 9 years of doing my fucking podcast, finally got him on. And I didn't do any of the advertising because I knew that it was going to be too interesting to sit there and talk to that guy. So, here's a little bit of advertising. I know what you're thinking. Oh, shit, Bill, the fucking advertising, that's boring. Well, not the way I do it. All right, here we go. We got a new one here. CISO. CISO. S-E-E-SO. See? So, there you go. Fuck you, man. All right, CISO is the place for comedy. They won't tell you how amazing they are, but I will, evidently. CISO is amazing. It's comedy for comedy nerds by comedy nerds. CISO, spelled CISO, S-E-E-S-O, is the new ad-free streaming service bringing you hilarious original specials, hand-picked classics, weeks of stand-up. You better not fucking have mine on there and not pay me, you cunts. Hand-picked classics, weeks of stand-up specials, and more. Bingeable comedy anytime, anywhere. CISO. Every episode of SNL ever? Really? Jesus, this is a big fucking thing because those guys hoard those specials, those episodes, including new episodes the day after they air. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon from New England. Oh, you did so great. And Late Night with Seth Meyers the day after they air. And they even have classics like 30 Rock, Parks and Recreation, and Saved by the Bell. Are those already classics? I see Saved by the Bell. Even British comedies like The Original Office with that dangerous guy, Ricky Gervais. Oh, what's he going to do at the Emmys? He's drinking a beer. Oh, is he going to smoke a cigarette next? The entire Monty Python catalog. The It Crowd and Steve Coogan as Alan Partridge. Discover the next big names in comedy and watch the icons before they made it. Before they made it big, like Louis C.K., Chelsea Peretti, Amy Schumer, Bo Burnham, and so much more. Critically acclaimed originals and exclusive content like Harmon Quest, created by comedian Dan Harmon, and Funny as Hell, a variety show featuring such comedians as Jim Jeffries. Jim Jeffries. And Hannibal Buress. If you're serious about comedy, you got to go to CISO. Stream it anytime. Jesus fucking Christ, we get it. CISO is ad-free, and it's just $3.99 a month. That's less than you paid for the latte or artisan cold brew coffee you're holding right now. And right now, my listeners can try CISO free for 2 months when you use promo code BIRD at the checkout. At any point, are they going to say what CISO stands for? CISO. Seriously, ignorant, ego-sucking Oscars, I don't fucking know. Shows you can't get anywhere else, from critically acclaimed original series to all 40 plus years of SNL. CISO's the only place that offers every episode ever made and the new episodes the day after they air. Just go to CISO.com right now to sign up for 2 months for free with the promo code BURR at checkout. That's CISO.com, promo code BURR. Dude, just for the fucking SNL alone, that's great. All right, hey, speaking of Joe Rogan, here's his company, Onnit. Onnit has a new product. It's called emulsified MCT oil. What the fuck is that? Well, we're going to tell you. MCT oil is one of the fastest sources of clean fuel for the body and the brain. It's one of the best ways to power up your performance and kickstart a weight management program. I should do that, rub it right on my stomach. There are a lot of MCT oil brands out there, but there's none like the emulsified MCT oil from Onnit. What's emulsification? That's like when you got balsamic vinaigrette just sitting there, okay? And the fucking vinaigrette goes away from the balsamic or vice versa or whatever, and then you fucking shake it up, and all of a sudden, it's been combined. It's been emulsified. You get it? It's like a carburetor when you got the air and the fuel mixture, and it creates that foam that you can't drink, but it looks like a latte. That's emulsification. Emulsification. Available in 3 delicious flavors: coconut, vanilla, and strawberry. Jesus Christ, that's me right there. Coconut head, vanilla skin, strawberry pubes. Emulsified MCT oil mixes like a cream easily in your morning coffee without the need for a blender. No mess, no cleanup. You can even mix it into your favorite food. Liquid Billy Redface right here from Onnit. Right now, if you go to onnit.com, ONNIT.com/Burr, you can get Onnit's emulsified MCT oil for 12% off. That's Onnit, ONNIT.com/Burr to get emulsified MCT oil for 12% off. For any reason. If you don't like it, they'll give you money back, no questions asked. You got nothing to lose. Go to onnit.com/Burr now and get Onnit. Okay. What do I got left? Jesus Christ, I get out of breath from reading out loud. That's how dumb I am. All right, SeatGeek. Okay, buying tickets online for sports and concerts has been a confusing process for a long time. No, there's nothing confusing about it. It costs a fucking fortune. It's always hard to find the best deal for that game or show you want to go to, and none of those older ticket sites want to change that. But SeatGeek is different. They've come along and created an amazing app and website that makes it easier than ever for fans to buy and sell tickets. SeatGeek does all the price comparisons for you by searching multiple ticket sites and ensuring that you get the best possible deal. And SeatGeek wants to help you get the best bang for your buck. That's why every ticket on SeatGeek is given a grade based on value. You'll immediately see any underpriced seats and be able to find the best deals that fit your budget. Best of all, my listeners get $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase. To get your $20 rebate on tickets, how do I do that, man? Download the SeatGeek app. Go to the settings tab and click add a promo code. Enter the promo code BURR, B-U-R-R. SeatGeek will send you $20 off after you've made your first ticket purchase. Download the SeatGeek app and enter the promo code BURR today. Jesus, I was doing all right there. Oh, Jesus, here we go. Our old friends here. Everybody, here they are. Returning once again. Oh, Zip. Recruiter! Are you hiring? Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place, it isn't enough to find quality candidates. Well, what do I do, man? If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. Is it hard? No, it's easy. With old fucking Zip. Recruiter.com. You can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like the Facebook, like the Twitter, all with one single click there. Find a candidate in any city or any industry. What? Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in like all that hot put it down there in Florida. To ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why Zip.com has been used by over 1 million businesses. And right now, my listeners can post job on Zip. Rick for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. One more time to get free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. All right, next one, last and final. Sorry, that's getting obnoxious. I know, but there's only so many different ways to read it. All right. Oh, Jesus, it's Tracker. We're all losers. Newsweek reports the average American wastes 55 minutes a day looking for things they own but can't find. Share a story when you've lost something you needed. Yeah, I lost my soul when I fucking do something like that. Just give me the copy and I'll fucking read it. Oh, yeah, I remember the time I couldn't find my mittens. Oh, boy, we had a snowball fight coming up. I get it. You put this fucking thing on shit and you don't lose it anymore. Yet for some reason, they're going to write 10 pages of shit. Tracker makes losing things a thing of the past, and I'll tell you how to get one for free in a minute. Tracker is a coin-sized device that locates misplaced keys, wallets, bags, computers, dildos, anything in seconds. Just pair Tracker to your smartphone, attach it to anything, and find its precise location with the tap of a button. It's that easy. Lose your phone, press a button. Oh, there it is. On Tracker, your phone rings even when it's on silent. Creepy. Tracker is finding over 1 million... Jesus Christ, Cleo! Could you go take a fucking flea bath? You've been shaking and stirring the whole fucking time. We're supposed to be oh, don't look at me like that. Come here, buddy. Come here. I'm sorry. You just look at me like, dude, I will fucking rip your throat out if I want to. Now it's up on the couch. That's all it wanted. Good kid. All right, Tracker is... Tracker is finding over 1 million misplaced items each day. Order yours and never lose anything again. Listen to the show. Get a free Tracker Bravo with any order. Go to tracker.com and enter promo code Burr. The hardest thing you'll ever have to find is their website. Go to tracker.com right now and enter the promo code Burr for free. Free Tracker Bravo with any order. Again, that's tracker.com. Promo code Burr. Did anybody see that fucking ad on TV that was making fun of Ohio State, the way they go, the Ohio State University? They were talking about things that you're sick of. They go, are you sick of dramatic pauses after football players say the name of their university? And they had this guy like doing like cross-eyed and he just went like, the Brockton Community College. I butchered it, but you got to see it. The guy's performance on it is tremendous. It's as funny as how unfunny the way I just did it. Look at you, Cleo. What are you doing? You want to go outside? Cleo, can I get her to howl before we leave? Cleo, go on, get off the couch. Get off the couch. All right, here we go. The key is you just have to make eye contact. I'm going to go for this here. Cleo, do you want to go outside? Cleo. There you go. Good girl. All right, I'll talk to you later.